Welcome to the 8th week in the life of a period vlog. Wow, I slurred that, I'm not drunk. It's Friday the 20th of January. I don't have my period yet, but I woke up this morning feeling emotionally unstable. I'm emotional today. I woke up crying because I dreamt I had a baby. It was one of those ones where you go to the toilet and you think you're doing a poo and then a baby pops out. So that was a good start to the day. I've been at work. I've had a banging headache all day, like a really bad headache. I don't really get headaches that often. I watched a film in work as well and there was like a tiny little sad bit that wasn't even that sad and I was like holding back tears like don't cry. It's one of those days, I can feel it. Yeah, I'm just waiting for my period. Waiting. It'll probably wait till I have some plans and then it'll pop up. Anyway, bye. So I'm sitting filming other videos and I thought I'd sit down and chat for like today's section of the period vlog. I've not yet got my period. I'm feeling alright today. I'm feeling okay. I'm still tired today despite having a lot of sleep. But yesterday I had just had these big cravings to watch a prison documentary and I was like, it was overwhelming me, man. So I posted about it on Twitter and somebody linked me to this YouTube video and it was like 3 hours long and it was a 3-part prison documentary of Corton Vale, which is a Scottish women's prison, and I was watching that and I got right into it and I finished it this morning. I watched the full 3 hours. I'll link it below, it's no bad. A lot of you might not be able to understand what they're saying because you're pure heavy total that, man, but it's a good way to learn like Scottish slang, I suppose. And as I was watching it I knew, like I noticed and like I know one of the girls that's in it, or I did know her. I wouldn't know her to see now, like if she saw me now she probably wouldn't remember who I was, but I grew up with her. Like when I was wee we lived in the same flat, we played together when I was young. Yeah, anyway, this isn't supposed to be a anyway, but I just thought it was funny. I was like, that's so and so. It was also Trump's inauguration yesterday, which makes me feel a bit sick, to be honest. There's loads of women's marches on today. I only just found out about the Edinburgh Women's March and I wouldn't have had enough time to actually go to it anyway. I'm a bit annoyed, I'm a bit gutted, but I got a bit emotional seeing all the signs and all the people on my Twitter feed that are actually going to these women's marches. It's amazing. And then there was also somebody else that was saying, you know, people should move on. Trump's president, get over it, deal with it. How can people move on when this is going to negatively affect their lives for a long time? How can people just move on? And people were moaning saying like, oh, these women aren't marching for Saudi Arabia and all this, but you can care about more than one thing at the one time, by the way. I'm gonna stop ranting about Trump. This is a period video. So yeah, last night I was feeling a bit emotionally like, woo! So I decided that I want a tattoo. Somebody said as well, oh, don't get a tattoo. I'm not gonna like think, oh, I'm gonna get a tattoo while I'm feeling emotionally mad. Maybe one day I'll get one, but I'm not gonna go out and get one on my period. I also bought a bullet journal. I'm the most unorganised. I can't draw, I'm not artsy at all. I don't know how I'm gonna do a bullet journal, but I can try, I suppose. So I bought a bullet journal in like my moment of madness. Wild. I'm gonna stop ranting now. Bye. I just need to show you this photo as well that I saw on Twitter that made me a little bit like, oh! It's a wee girl holding up a sign saying, if you build a wall, my generation will knock it down. I love this girl. I don't know who she is, but oh my god, love it. Morning. I don't know if it's probably just period, but I always feel when I'm on my period that my dark circles are worse. My spots are worse. Like that's not even a spot, that's just a scar. I look tired as hell, but I'm not. I feel like people in other countries have amazing skin when they don't have makeup on, and they've always got like, not all of them, but like the majority of them, in my opinion, seem to have like no discoloration on their face, hardly any spots, no dark circles, and it's like, what the heck? And I'm assuming obviously it's because our weather's really bad so we don't get enough sun, and that's why our skin looks like this. Saying that, like all my friends have nice skin. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one with skin this bad. What can you do? I'm supposed to be seeing Zoe today, but it's just started raining. I never updated, but last night I started spotting a little bit, so I got a little bit of period, but not very much, like it wasn't really coming onto the pad. And this morning it's still not coming onto the pad, but I just started getting really bad cramps after going to the toilet and thinking, oh, I don't have cramps. I'm just about to head now to pick up Zoe and Brad. Brad's coming as well, which will be good, so we can all have a catch up. I'm actually really excited to get out of the house. My cramps have gone for the most part. What was I gonna say? Oh my god, period brain. I did the thing that I said I wasn't gonna do in the last vlog, in the last period vlog, and I've shoved in a tampon. I always say I shoved in a tampon. I've not shoved anything in, but I've inserted a tampon, which I didn't want to do, but I don't have time to boil my cup right now. I actually need to leave, so I'll catch up with you when I'm with Zoe and Brad.
We just spent way too long trying to fix the colour on this, but there is no fixing the colour on this. But we've been drinking caffeine, which is like the worst thing you can do when you've got cramps, but my cramps are away now, which is fine. Poor Brad's like stuck in the back listening to this period chat. But that's good, guys. Been involved. Words. I found myself not really being able to talk that much. Do you get that when you're on your period?
Yeah.
Period brain?
Yeah.
And you just say like absolute crap. See, when I was editing the last period video, oh my god, I had to edit out so many of the mistakes that I was saying because it just made no sense, but I didn't notice at the time that I was saying the wrong thing. Yeah, what's your period like, Zoe?
I think it really depends. Most of the time I'm all right, but I just find that I'm like super emotional, and I find that I get really emotional and cry a lot before my period.
Yeah.
And then while I'm on, I'm not as bad, and then maybe a couple of days after I get really emotional too. But I find that I use an app on my phone to track my period, and I find it a lot easier because now I actually know why I'm feeling a certain way.
Yeah.
Also as well, I've noticed that I get a lot of period symptoms when I'm in my first child period as well, which I hadn't noticed before. So I just thought I was a crazy emotional mess, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, I'm fertile.
I'm so fertile.
I'm so fertile. But I find that a lot easier because I can kind of understand why I'm feeling a certain way, and I'm not being as dramatic about being, oh my god, I forgot to put my shoes away.
I remember sobbing because my mum's friend was parked in the space outside my house that I park in. So I just pulled across the street and I was like, it's like so upset.
How am I on my period, Brad?
Kind of crazy.
Kind of crazy.
Are you? Yeah, do you know, I've barely even been to the toilet today. So I don't even know what it's been like, so I can't even update you on what my period's been like, because I don't know. Thanks for being in the video, Zoe.
It's alright.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, Brad.
Bye.
Morning. Yeah, it's the next day and I just wanted to show you while I'm getting ready for work how good my hair looks. It's a really nice day. My car's frozen up though. You always need an extra 5 minutes to defrost your car, but I never give myself the extra 5 minutes, and then I'm always in a rush. I skipped my morning coffee because I can feel cramps coming, and it took a lot of willpower, by the way. I'm tired and I just want coffee and I'm gonna be sore. How cute are these socks? They're polar bears.
So I'm on my work break. I had my first shift. It was really good actually. I love the women that I go to in the morning on a Monday. My cramps are there, but they're not like crippling. Wow. But they're not crippling like last time, so my mood's fine. I feel good. I think I'm just going out for coffee with Fraser tonight. I don't know if we'll get a coffee, that's probably not a good idea. I had a really good day yesterday with Brad and Zoe. I feel a bit slightly hyper for some reason, and I don't know if it is because of the coffee and because I didn't have one this morning. I shamelessly tweeted Walker's Shortbread because they said they're looking for people to hire for a new job opening, and I was like, fancy working with a Scottish YouTuber that has a small addiction to shortbread. And I don't know if I would have done that normally. Yeah, see you later. It's nearly 6 o'clock. I'm finally finished work. It took a while to get home. I was stuck in traffic and all that. I was about to go into work earlier after my break, and I got a fright because something flew in my face, and it was a white feather, and I was like, oh. And all these birds just next to me just flew away, and I got the fright of my life, and I felt like I was in Final Destination. You know how when all these weird things are happening and you're like, so hopefully I don't die. So I just went for a coffee with Fraser and a decaf. I got a decaf latte and it was actually well nice. My period appears to have gone. After work I get in and check my pad and there was nothing on it, and there's been nothing there all day, and I'm like, before I left for the coffee I emailed like a bunch of companies and stuff like to do with YouTube, so motivated. Bought some pens for my bullet journal today as well, so apparently I get motivated when I'm on my period. Anyway, bye. It's 10:01. I'm just about to start my next shift. I'm sore and I will be sitting down for pretty much all of the shift. I'm wearing my cup, but it is leaking out a bit, so I've been changing the position and all that, and it's just still leaking out. Last night I went for a bath, and after the bath the shining moment happened, so I put in my cup overnight and it was all good, and I've got it back in now. But it's a long day of cramps and pain, and I thought I would test out the no tampon thing and see if my cramps aren't as bad, and I don't think that it's bad, but I don't know if it's just maybe all in my head because I've not got a tampon in. I'll probably just catch up with you tomorrow. It's the next day. My period's still really heavy, like really like massacre heavy. I ended up just wearing a pad overnight last night, like a big, I went to the shop and I bought like big pads that I'm not a fan of them. I don't like when I can feel it all coming out. I'm not used to having a tampon in, but I've been taking a break from the tampons. Although, when I had the pads on and I didn't have anything in me, cramps went away completely. Now I've got the cut back in, I have very slight cramps, but not really. So I'm like, maybe it's just because I've got something in me that I get cramps. But they were definitely worse with tampons in, that's for sure. It's such a nice day outside today, like it's blue skies, pure sunny, which always helps my mood. My mood's fine today. I've not been hungry, that's the thing. I don't feel like any lunch. Usually at this time I'm starving, but I'm not. I did the healthy thing and went to the shop and bought frazzles. Yeah, I've got badminton tonight with my friend Scott, so I might film some of that, so I'll catch up with you later. I just shouted at a schoolboy. Right, the woman that I go to in the afternoon for work, she has a set of stairs near her house where these school kids gather during their lunch break and they sit and they smoke and they blether and whatever, but they've left so much rubbish, and at the time they weren't littering while I was sitting in my car on my break, so I just left them to it. But I came out, there was one still standing there having a fag, you know, smoking. He'd set fire to like some of the rubbish that was sitting there, so I went over and I was like, what's this? And he was like, what? I was like, what are you doing setting fires? And I went, and look at all this litter you've left. And he went, it's no mine. You know, dead cheeky. But to be fair, I was really cheeky at him. I went for it, man. I went for it. He walked away. He just walked away. And I shouted at him when he was in the distance, and pick that up next time. Like really loud. And he turned back and screamed at me, saying, I told you it wasn't mine! And I was like, oh my god, what if that wasn't his? He shouldn't have set a fire to it, but it was only a wee fire, but he shouldn't have done it. But next time I see them, I'm going to be like, because like when it's a big group of school kids, it is quite intimidating. But what can I do? Like, what do I do when they're all standing there and they're all littering? Like, what can I do about that? Because it's a mess, like, it's absolutely disgusting. They've left all their stuff and it's, I hate littering. It's like one of the things I hate the most. It's lazy, it's disgusting, and it makes a place look minging, and it's bad for the environment. Can you not just gather that stuff up and find a bin? How hard is it to do that? I can't believe I shouted at a kid. Yeah, so that's my proudest moment of today. I'm on a pure high now though, because I had a good shift there, and me and the women I was supporting, we just like sat and sang like on the way home in the car. Sorry, I'm watching all the school wains walking home, waiting for them to vandalise my car. I'm getting ready for badminton, right? Along with the period, a lot of the time comes bloating. My bloating is really bad right now. A lot of the time in general, because of that and like a mild case of IBS, irritable bowel, I look bloated or pregnant a lot of the time. And I just want to show you the reality, and I'm promised, right, 100% promise, I'm not pushing my belly out. Normal? Right now. That's me pushing it out. That's it, normal. Like, what is that? I'm about to head to work. I really need to leave right now. I think I better leave. Anyway, badminton last night was really fun. I really enjoyed it. It helped my mood as well, like tons. I still get my period. I'm just wearing a pad. I'm just getting used to wearing a pad just now. I've taken my cup out because my period's not as heavy. It's still quite heavy, but I just wanted to not have anything in me for once. No cramps whatsoever. Everything else is fine. I'm just a bit sore for badminton, but that's about it. This is just a really quick video because I need to leave for work just now. It's Saturday, but I'm working for 3 hours just as a kind of a wee extra. And then tonight I'm going out with Amy, but it is a really horrible day outside. It was snowing earlier, but it's so wet that it's just not landed. Period, mood's fine. Woke up with some extra spots, which is great. Still got the period, it's still there. It's not heavy, but it's not light. I'm just wearing a pad just now, so that is all I need to update you on. I need to go. So I'm at Amy's, right, and I had a, I don't even know how do I even describe this. I felt fine, right, all week, and then I felt fine at work, I felt alright. As soon as I got home, any little thing that bothered me, like any little thing just made me so irritable, and I would get so angry. And then me and Amy organised to go out tonight, and we organised to go on it was a sort of triple date. Then we thought we'll invite the rest of the guys, and the guys decided to go to another pub. I'm with Laura and Amy. I'm here vlogging on the floor. The guys decided that they wanted to go to a different pub that we didn't want to go to. Like, we don't like that pub, and I acted like a 5-year-old. Yeah, I acted like a 5-year-old and cried. And then I dropped my brush and swore at it. And
It was just a really dramatic time in my life, and there was no need for me to react like that whatsoever. There's Amy.
Sorry, I'm just getting my charger out of the...
What do you think of the whole situation, the pub situation?
I was greeting as well, so I was raging.
But now they're all going to the pub that we want
We're all
because the
happy
other
now.
pub's too busy. I'm only joking, but period's fine. I've got a tiny panty liner on. Just a wee cheeky one. I've calmed down a bit, but I still feel really on edge. I'm like really on it. Take my money when I'm in need.
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
There's been a moment. I'm in the taxi home. I have been crying for ages because someone challenged me and I started crying, and I've been like brewing all night because I cried in Amy's for a little bit. I didn't vlog it obviously. It was really embarrassing, so that's good. Yeah, last night was a bit of a fail. I ended up crying last night. It was brewing all day though, and I was kind of worried it was going to pop out at some point on the night out, and it did. Normally if I'm getting frustrated at something or if I'm angry, I'll cry. That's just my reaction, and I hate that. I hate that being my reaction because it looks like I'm upset when I'm not. I ended up talking to my friend about stuff, right, about like stuff that we don't agree on, and I got so frustrated that I started crying, and then I couldn't stop. Like I couldn't stop crying till I got home, till I went to bed. Poor Sarah and Matty were in the taxi with me, having to deal with me like crying like an idiot the entire time. I knew it was going to happen at some point, and I shouldn't have went out. I wasn't that drunk, so it's not as if like it was the alcohol, but the alcohol probably didn't help. I just needed that cry all day. It turned out fine at the start, but then as the night went on I was just getting more irritated and like annoyed, and then that conversation happened, and like no hard feelings towards them or whatever, but the period did not help that situation whatsoever. Poor taxi guy must have been like, why is she filming herself? And my period's still here. That's been a while now, I think. Like that's been a wee while, but at least it's not been really any bother apart from yesterday. Like, that never happens. I never usually get like that much PMS in the middle to the end of my period. That's the worst I've been in a long time. I thought I'd include that clip because it's real life. We all embarrass ourselves. So this period's been interesting. After the last clip, it only lasted another like 2 days, like very lightly, and then it went away. There was really nothing else to film, so I never filmed anything else. But I thought I would answer some of your questions as usual, or reply to some of your comments, so that's what I'm going to do. So the first one is from a girl I know called Louise, and I love this comment. She said, I don't think I've had much trapped wind during my period, but I do get a sensation I need the toilet. It's not really sore, just annoying. I'm always confused, like, is my period causing this or just a poo? The thing is though, I totally get this as well. There's always that pressure there where you're like, am I going to do the toilet or is it just period cramps? Because it's like quite a similar feeling, so I totally understand that feeling, and I feel like that's quite a common thing. So if you get that as well, leave it in the comments below because we need to all share this poo sensation. No we don't. So Ella Greenhill left another comment saying, I was wondering what age you started your period at because I'm 13 and I'm really anxious because I haven't had mine yet and I can't read. P.S. I can't believe I got mentioned in this video. Ah, you're 13. I started mine when I was about 13 or 14. I was in my first year of high school, so I must have been 13. I know that the age varies for all different people, so do not worry that you've not had your period yet because it will come. Some people are later, some people are later. It just varies, so do not worry about it. It's cool, man, it's cool. It'll come. Emily Ann said, I noticed the dress you were wearing to the wedding was a pale pink. It looked lovely, by the way. Thank you. Do you ever feel self-conscious about wearing white, light colours while on your period? I once wore white jeans on a night out and while on my period, and it ruined my night because I couldn't stop worrying about it like crazy and checking and going to the toilet a lot, or the bathroom a lot. I can't remember if my period was heavy that day or not. It was in the last vlog anyway. I went to a friend's wedding. I don't really get paranoid now when I'm wearing white on my period. I mean, it was a top and a skirt and it was quite thick material, so even if I did leak, wouldn't I went through any material or anything, it would have went down my leg, but I mean I wouldn't hesitate to wear like light colours on my period just in case it leaked. I would just make sure that I had plenty of like protection. I'd make sure I had plenty of padding, maybe a tampon or a cup as well as a pad. Just come prepared and make sure you have lots of stuff with you as well. But I don't really get worried about it. Megan said, whoa, just wanted to comment, ask about your cup versus tampon pain comment like around 3:48 in the video. I bought a cup but I haven't used it yet because I'm a bought chicken. But I usually use tampons. I have noticed that when I take the tampons out and free bleed / wear my Thinx underwear, my cramps aren't as bad. So my question is this: did you switch from tampon to cup and find your cramps aren't as bad? And when she asked this, I actually replied saying that I couldn't answer it because I hadn't tested it out yet. And that period there was the only period I've had where I didn't use tampons. I didn't use tampons once because I wanted to see if there was a difference in my cramps. And there totally was. I didn't have cramps for as long as I usually do, and they weren't as bad as well. So I think from now on I'm going to stay away from tampons because it really did make a difference. I really want to try Thinx underwear. Who here has used Thinx underwear before? Leave a comment because I'm intrigued by them and I think that I want to try them. I totally noticed a change this month in my tampons, my cramps. I was going to say crampons as well. So if you're really struggling with period cramps and you are a tampon user, try not using tampons just to see if there's a difference. If you want to feature in the next week in the life of a period vlog, leave a comment down below and I'll possibly reply to it in the next period video. Thanks very much for watching and I'll see you later. Bye!